Welcome to Custom Home Builder Solutions, also known as CHS, a job costing, full accounting, and profit management software for the professional home builder. In this video, I am going to talk about how CHS will show you revenues received on a job. And by revenues received, I just mean monies received or draws received. That's what generally sort of what revenues means. And that doesn't have so much to do with where you post it to your GL accounts. It's just a list of monies received. And since different builders use different accounting methods and they post monies received or draws received to various different GL accounts based on their methods, CHS can't know which GL account from your chart of accounts you have posted revenues to. So CHS, in order to produce subsidiary job revenues reports to just show monies received, combs through your database, your accounting database, and looks for any records that have been posted on the deposits window as a deposit and has appropriate deposit categories. And I'm going to talk about that. And mainly what I'm going to talk about in this video is about how, let's say you get your first draw and then it's a lot draw, and you don't actually receive any monies. We still would like for you to post that on the deposit window as what we call a zero deposit and not as a journal entry. And I'm going to show you why in this video. Let's go to the button for deposits, and let's notice that here on the menu, and there's actually going to be a link for this video, etc. on this menu after I'm done. But let's notice that there's a help document about posting a zero deposit. I'm going to go ahead and open that. And like I was just talking about, let's get this a little bigger to look at. Sometimes you might incur an interim draw, but no cash will be received by you. And I am talking about how you need to use the Add New Bank Deposit window to capture the draw revenue received and the related job costs like closing costs or interest, etc., that might be incurred on this lot draw. So what I'm going to do is show you how, by posting this zero draw, that revenue for the draw itself will show up on a list of job revenues as a subsidiary report, and the costs, the job costs that were incurred, like for closing costs, etc., will show up on job cost reports. So what I'm going to do is talk as I go ahead and post one of these zero deposits. Let me get this a little bigger, and what I'm noticing is that the numbers I want to use for this. So let's go over here and notice how my help document has stayed open in a tab in Firefox so I can refer to it. What I'm going to do is add a new zero deposit to get this lot draw recorded. First of all, the payor is Compass Bank that gave us the draw. We have that payor set up already. You need to set up your payors in the place on the payors list on the home tab that you're going to need to be using for posting either draws received, monies received, etc. And let me look at my help document to see what check number they had, 68566. Actually, there's no check because we didn't receive any money, so we could put no check here really. We're going to use our test 3 job that we've set up, and we don't have very much job costs or revenues posted to it because we're imagining that probably about all you might have received is a down payment before you're getting a lot draw. And in this case, we're not dealing with accounts receivable and change order stuff. We're just posting a deposit. Please watch other videos for full detail about posting deposits, but we're going to do Compass Bank as our description, lot draw. And what we're going to choose here as our deposit category, if I click this, you'll see deposit categories I have set up. We're going to call this an interim draw. It's our first draw, and it already has a default GL account assigned to it, which you can edit, which means that's going to drop in when I select this deposit category. The deposit category is important for those job revenues reports I'll show you in a minute, because it'll group things like change order deposits or interim draws based on this deposit category. It kind of uses it as a heading. Now let's look at our help document. Our total draw is for 146,331.02. This is the amount that the bank is going to have recorded as the amount of our loan so far. And this is the part for the lot draw. Now what I'm going to do is use the copy icon to create another line so I don't have to keep filling in compass and this and that. But what I'm going to do is change my description to lot price, because what they did was go pay for the lot out of this draw. And I'm going to use a deposit category called job costs, because I want this to be posted as a job cost. And it's telling you some stuff about what I'll talk about. But notice how some more fields opened up for us over here just because we selected the job cost deposit category. Basically the same thing will happen. If for some reason you're posting some deposit that's supposed to lower a job cost, you can also select the deposit category job cost credit, and these fields will also open up so you'll know which cost code to post that credit to. But we'll leave job cost. And because we set up that deposit category for a default GL number of 1430, which is our work in progress account that we're using with this builder, we want this to be posted as part of the job cost in our work in progress account. Now the amount of that lot was $144,000, I think. Let me just check my entry here, $144,000. And what I did not do, which you need to do, is if I'm taking money away from my deposit or from my draw, I need to put that as a minus. And behind the scenes, you'll notice up here an accounting note that CHS is going to actually post minus amounts on the deposit screen as debits and plus amounts on the deposit window as credits. And we're going to talk about that a little more in just a second. Now what we're going to do is we're going to select the cost code we have set up for lot price. And we don't have any markup. It would have dropped in if we had that on the job budget. We might have had a markup percent, but we're not running a markup percent on this particular job. So now what I'd like to do is go ahead and copy this line and do this one more time. And we're going to call this interest. That they took out of, that they also kept for themselves at Compass Bank. And we're going to use a job cost category again. So we can do that to the interest, and that amount, if I look at this, is $2,331.02. We'll put that as a minus amount that they took out. And if you'll notice down here, if you've been watching or you want to back up how this deposit total has been changing, it is now 0. It's the amount of our draw less the cost for the lot price, and less the job cost for interest that they charged. So they didn't hand us any money. If they'd handed us a little bit of money for whatever reason for a loan, you would have some additional lines here, of course. Now for our cost code, we're going to use 116, interest on lot. These two things, having a cost code other than 0, being marked as a job cost here, and having a job code, will cause these two lines to show up on job cost reports. And this line, because it's on the deposit window with deposit category of interim draw, will show up as revenues received on those reports. Now down here at the bottom, before we can submit the deposit, we do have to select a bank account, even though the amount will be 0 that's posted there. This will not affect our bank account balance because the total is 0. And I believe in our example, and I think I'll leave it that way, we were using a date of 12/4/2006 because this is our old demo data, and I think we told the job to stop there. So let's do 12/04/2006, and you do need to use 4 digits for the date. It warns me that I'm making a really old one because I'm actually doing this in the year 2016, but it gives me a warning. You really typed an old date in case I made a mistake. And it would have prevented me if I had my current period set up to block entries that are that old. You control that current period, and you can see it up here. But this is our demo file, and you actually can't see it up there. So I submit it. And it says to view the posted entries or attached documents, use the View Posted Deposit Records button below, which you could just go ahead and review those if you just wanted to feel comfy about it. You could also print yourself a little report. And this will show the numbers as they were on the deposit window, not as they were posted in accounting. It's just deposits detail. So you can see the total of the records is actually 0. There'll be dot, dot, dot lines there. But what I'd like to show you is how CHS took care, when it posted that, it actually is creating a journal entry for most anything it posts to your account records. And if you'd like to view that, you can click the Deposit Totals Cash Side button over here. Anyway, you can see this 12/4/2006 deposit that was a 0 deposit. You could do some searching to find those. But we're not going to do that right now. But you'll notice there's a little hyperlink to View JE, and what this means is it's going to show you the actual records that got posted. You can see that the lot draw was posted as a credit, even though it was posted as a positive amount in the deposit window, and that the 2 job costs are posted as debits. Debits mean really just that it's plus amount, and credits mean it's a minus amount. Other than that, they don't have much meaning, but for accounting they do. So CHS takes care of that behind the scenes, and you could always print this report if you're interested in that, and how CHS is handling the accounting transactions when it posts them. Let's close that. Now let's go take a look at the results of this. Let's take a look at what I'm talking about. Let's just go to this big button right here for budgets estimates. And let's look at our test 3 job. And let's just click the link for actual/unit and revenues for reports for that. First of all, let's just click the button for revenues received for this job right down here. And what you're going to see is we received a down payment for $20,000. And notice that the interim draw amount that we posted of $146 is showing up here as a revenue received. And as you get more draws and post them as real deposits, as money you received, and post them, I'm assuming you'd use the deposit category interim draw and you'd start having a list of them. But this way, your first lot draw has gotten into revenues. And like I mentioned, and like it says down here, only records that have been posted on the deposit window and have been assigned deposit categories other than these will be included in job revenues received. And again, that's because CHS does not know what GL number you might be deciding to post job revenues or draws to. So to produce this subsidiary report, this is just a subsidiary report to give you a list of things that it's recognizing as job revenues. So you could print that out. Now let's take a look at our actual job cost detail and see what shows up there as a result of that. Now notice this is showing you how CHS is handling reversing that into a debit amount. The lot price for $144,000 and the cost of the interest on the lot. Those 2 costs are now showing up on a actual job cost detail report. And notice that the vendor here is Z. When you see the vendor see it as Z, it means there was no vendor. It's not a cost you went and paid and wrote a check for. So there's no vendor attached to that. Z basically means no vendor attached. And that can give you a pretty good clue that that was probably posted on the deposit window. Let's go take a look at the estimated cost at completion worksheet for this job. And it's another important reason for why you want to get those costs posted as job costs on the deposit window. The same reason, really, that you want those to show up as actual cost, because we budgeted for this job $144,000 for the lot price. We actually budgeted $2,500 because we weren't sure what it would be for interest on the lot. And our actual costs, are showing up here. You can drill down on them. You can see that line for $144,000. And the fact that I typed the description there in the description field helps you know Compass Bank interest, a little bit about where it comes from. And I've check marked these as done, so interest on lot is showing under by 169 because we just budgeted 2,500. But you can see how important it is to post all of that in the way that I'm describing on the deposit window, so you can get both your job revenues recognized as a draw received, and the other side, the costs that were taken, were paid, like the lot price, etc. I hope that helps, and thank you for watching.